Hello, collective. It's been a minute. I've been experimenting with other things. Had a little injury from which I seem to be recovering. But in the downtime, I missed you guys. Most High Gods, ancestors, archangels, ascended masters, we call upon you for a general collective message, only for the greatest and highest good. Please and thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to see what we have to work with today. Thank you. Oh, I might need to flip that camera around for you guys, huh? Anything else? Please and thank you. Anything else? Please and thank you. Thank you so much. On the shelf, that means the energy's there, whether it's in the light or in the shadow. Depends on us. The purpose of shadow work is to bring what's hidden to the consciousness. Let's see here. Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. So we want to make the unconscious conscious so we can work with it in a fearless, honest, intentional work. We have child nature in the upright, friendships with animals, communication with nature spirits. Dilettante delights in the arts without having to be a professional, alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. Destroyer in the light. Yeah, this full moon is about releasing and letting go of what no longer serves us so that we can bring in new energies that do serve us, new habits, attitudes, self-talk. Releasing what is potentially destructive, preparing for a new life. Alchemist on the shelf in the light. Transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. In the dark, misuse of power and knowledge that come through spiritual practice. And there are people who do this. Every institution, whether it's a church, a civic institution, community meetings, they all have light and dark attributes. And usually the higher up in the echelon you go, the more dark and light seem to contrast, to the best of my knowledge. That's why the Golden Dawn in itself isn't bad, but the upper echelons can contain plenty of people with plenty of knowledge and power that do misuse it, as well as people who have plenty of knowledge and use it to the benefit. I was quite shocked to find out that one of my favorite poets had an affinity for fascism. Thank you so much. Current situation, the High Priestess on the shelf. So that's the subconscious, not quite conscious, not quite unconscious. Something trying to break through there. And the Page of Wands, we got a spark of willpower, a spark of passion. Crossing, either for the good or the bad, can be a help or a hindrance, depending on us. Thank you so much, Most High. Please and thank you. Crossing energy, thank you. Look at that. On the shelf, Ten of Pentacles. The Pentacles are things that manifest in the 3D, but I'll say it can be energy too, because what is money? What is anything? It represents the energy it took for us to get it. Recent past, Page of Cups reversed, a dirty offer, dishonest offer, a very immature emotion. Love, cups represent emotion, spirit, connection to spirit, but it's in the reverse. It's inverted, so we may have thought something was sincere, an offer was sincere, an apology perhaps, an offer of love, but maybe we had ulterior motives. Thank you so much, Most High. And the subconscious, holding on. We just talked about release, didn't we? Holding on. Stability. If rooted in something, it may or may not serve us, but we'll see how the reading goes, since this is about releasing, as seen in the first 4 cards. Crowning, please and thank you. Crowning. Crowning, please and thank you. Crowning, thank you so much. 6 of Cups. Happy memories, nostalgia. Oh, thank you so much. Near future. Page of Swords in the reverse. Not doing the work, not studying, not learning. Minding our own business, perhaps. But with a full heart. Looks like we're gaining mastery over our emotions in connection with the spirit world, the God world. And the environment, please and thank you. And the environment, please and thank you. By the way, this spread is just the Celtic cross laid out a little differently. The Queen of Swords, someone who has come to reckoning with the truth, or is coming to reckoning with the truth on an internal basis. Fair, diplomatic, but honest. The sword is double-edged. It cuts both ways. It can hurt. Maybe it's excising something within us. Personal influence, please and thank you. Personal influence, please and thank you. Thank you so much. The Magician reverse. We have gifts, but we're not using them. We have the ability to think, to pray, to hope, to dream. We have the ability to care. We have our physical bodies, our eyes, ears, tongue, maybe more, maybe less. Hands and feet, arms and legs. Maybe we're not using some of them or any of them. Or maybe we're not using them in a productive manner. Hopes and fears, please and thank you. Hopes and fears, please and thank you. Hopes and fears, please and thank you, by the way. So maybe we're just not tapped into our creative abilities. Maybe we're tired. We need to rest. Meditate, close our eyes and dream or daydream. I tell you, one of my favorite philosophers said, there are weeks when nothing happens and weeks when decades happen. Isn't that the truth, collective? Hopes and fears, please and thank you. Thank you so much. Looks like we're worried about a lack of emotional fulfillment in our jobs and our personal relationships, and relationships with the people in our communities and our religious institutions. Potential outcome, potential because we all have free will and what we do with the information, which is vague for reasons. You got to do your part of the work and figure it out, but also it is a general reading. Thank you so much. It landed in my lap on a shelf, but then it started to go upright. This is an equal exchange, or well, I won't say equal. It's a fair exchange. A fair exchange. Because there's a wealthy person giving to the mendicants or those in need. And he has more than them. So if they have nothing, maybe they honor him. Yeah, I can see it being an equal exchange. Maybe they speak kindly of him or offer up prayers or blessings, but monetarily, it's not an equal exchange. And that means, and we shouldn't look for things for the reward anyway. And it's hard. We're human. Thank you so much. Clarifiers for that. It's not coming in quickly. We're not open to the messages that the universe is giving us, or we're not understanding the message that the universe is giving us. But we have the ability to be in our power if we just open it up and turn the Eight of Wands, the communications, into the upright. And that's a doozy because I've been wrestling with since early this morning how to answer a message I got in a diplomatic manner after I felt used up and cast aside. And no, it's not romantic, by the way. But we're all human. And I've noticed, our lips can say we have certain values and certain, faith beliefs and loves for God, Goddess, Source, in the best way we understand. But our actions belie our words. So I'm looking at all these megalithic institutions and our leaders whether they're political or in institutions of worship or even ourselves, whether we're really fully being honest with ourselves and whether we're willing to correct each other. And I can say I'm so grateful for one space I have where, we can argue, not necessarily in a negative way, although it does get heated from time to time, but we can exchange ideas in a lively manner. And sometimes there's a little heat there, and other times it's calm, cool, and collected while we still disagree. But even after the heat, after everybody steps back and we continue the discussion, we're able to get back on track and apologize for being short-tempered or not speaking more clearly. And for those of us in this particular space who get discouraged, find our hope flagging, we have been able to encourage each other, and it's going in rounds right now because the way the systems are set up around us, they cannot stand. They're built on a faulty foundation, and the foundation is crumbling because it hasn't been attended to. And because must needs all things change. Out with the old, in with the new. But change can be painful. Growth is painful. Can be extremely painful. That's why we hide things from ourselves that we really don't want to look at, and it's uncomfortable, painful even. Maybe it makes us mad, but we have our personal unconsciousness and the collective unconsciousness. And until we make it conscious, it will direct our lives, and we will call it fate or God, God's will. But we're neglecting our part in it when we say that, and that's why we also say when we point a finger at someone else, there are three more pointing back at ourselves. And these things they don't have to be negative qualities. They can be good qualities, qualities that we admire, and maybe we have a seed of it within ourselves that we haven't developed yet. So, any words of advice, Most High God? We thank you so much. This is really a clear message. Really a clear message. Thank you so much. That's too many. I'll take the one that flipped up. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. We have to find value in ourselves. We can't place our value on what we earn or where we live, or even if we have a home, and we can't place our value on false things like false pride and false images that we project. We have to find a balance. We don't always have to spotlight our weaknesses, but we don't always have to pretend like they don't exist, especially when it causes us to treat somebody as if they're disposable, or their feelings don't matter, or their health doesn't matter, or their hardships don't matter. And we may not be able to help financially, but we are able to help in other ways: an encouraging word, a hug, a smile, a warm meal, just a place to sit and be quiet. We don't always have to offer advice. We can just sit and be quiet, hold a hand, or not say anything. Anyway, bottom of the deck, strength, mastering our own inner beasts, whether they're gentle or fierce, knowing when to let each one have the spotlight and the voice. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you all. By the way, check out this new reader, or he's new to me anyway, popped up on my radar in the last couple of weeks, Wrong Sun. He's great. Thanks so much. Blessings.